Welcome to another edition of Candid Conversations with Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Today, I wanted to talk to everyone about why does it seem like it's so hard to transition into a new career field or get a job? I think part of the problem is that, well, the main problem is that we don't adequately research the things that we get into. We just kind of jump into it and then expect a particular outcome because maybe we saw it on a YouTube video or we spoke to somebody and they said, "Hey, I saw this and we should try it." And then now we just jump in it together. And now after we have gone through whatever that thing may be, it might be like a Udemy course, or it might be a boot camp, or maybe you went to college for something, and whatever that degree may be. And now that you're done, and you go and you try to find a job, and you see it's almost impossible to do it. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is we don't adequately prepare, we don't adequately research, we don't and then when things don't necessarily go our way, we are like, "Oh, it's this person's fault." I think there's a problem on both sides, right? But ultimately it comes down to our personal accountability ourselves, right? So what do I mean by that? So we're so quick to be people for some reason always tend to fall for these get rich quick schemes. And you can be like, "Oh no, like if it's too good to be true, then it's not true," or all this stuff, right? But here's the thing. If I tell you, if I tell you, pay me $10,000 or something, right? And I'm going to get you a job making $100,000, and I market that to 100 people, right? Um, Now, like, how much money am I making off these 100 people? And now, um, I can't like, am I going to create these jobs for 100 people that I promised? No, what I'm actually promising you is I'm going to give you the knowledge. I'm going to give you the knowledge of what you would use in a job where you make $100,000, but are like, it's not my company. I'm not placing you in there, right? So it sounds like another get rich scheme to me, but we are so quick to believe these. We're so quick to believe it, right? So, for instance, let's go. Let's say you take a. Let's say you go and you enroll in some course for full stack web development, right? You say, I want to become a software developer. I want to become a software engineer. Okay. And now say, okay, I would like take a full stack web development course. And so you start taking the course and you do a few projects and everything like that. And maybe you're paying for it monthly, maybe you just one lump sum and you pay it. And now you're going through it, like you're definitely learning how to do certain things, right? But say you're rushing through the process, for instance, because like you want to get done with it, you want to get out there into the job market, all that stuff, right? But now that you get out there, you start applying, and they're asking you about like concepts, patterns, all of that, and you're like, well, um, I know CSS, I know HTML, I know JavaScript, and they're like, well, That's great that you know it, but how do you plan to integrate that knowledge into a company, an organized structure, working within a team? Um, and I'll go into it deeper another time, and maybe another location about all the ins and outs of working within a company, right? Because learning is one thing, but the application in the real world is a totally other thing, right? So what like what is it that we don't do the full research? And what do I mean by that? So by the full research, right? Um, you wanna become a full stack web developer, right? Now, one of the great things about like about software engineering, software development, web development, and everything like that, you can definitely take that knowledge and use that to freelance, to open your own, to be an entrepreneur, open your own business, and all that type of stuff, right? So you can even be working for a company, and you can be doing that on the side and everything like that. So that's one of the and that's why I don't discount learning that. But if you learn it with the idea that, oh, this is going to like as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna go apply for $100,000 job, and then I got it. Like that's the get rich quick scheme, right? It doesn't work that way. And we can see like, and I'll give you another example. So you're online, you're on YouTube, and you see a video where somebody says, "Oh, in 6 months, I went from not knowing any code to making six figures were through a boot camp learning software engineering, right? And now they get a million views on this video. They get tons and tons of subscribers, all that type of stuff. And now you see that video and like, well, I'm gonna do it too, right? So now they're getting they're getting whatever it is like they're getting from ads and marketing and all that stuff on YouTube, and they're getting you to follow their footsteps. And then now once you follow their footsteps because of a I don't know, 15-20 minute YouTube video that you saw, um they're getting all of that, and now you follow in their footsteps, and you pay however much you pay to learn the information, and you go to apply for that $100,000 job, and you're not getting any responses, right? So you're like, all right, let me go down to 90, nothing. Let me go down to 70, nothing. And so now you're like, oh, let me try to apply for entry level because apparently it's more of the senior positions that are at the 100K and up. And you're like, well, I don't have any experience. I need like I don't even have an internship, and I'm transitioning from from a totally different field, right? So now you're like, all right, let me try to apply for entry level. Oh wait, there's not many entry level positions, and the ones that there are, there's like 1,000 people applying for them. So I'm not getting responses for those either, right? So whose fault is it? Is it the YouTuber who lied to you to tell you that if you follow in their footsteps in 6 months you're going to be making $100,000 and your first software engineering job? Or is it you who didn't adequately research? There's so many platforms available out there who offer this information for free, right? You can there's Glassdoor. They tell you they rate they have employees rate their companies. They tell you about the interview process. They tell you what the size of the company. They tell you the positions that are open. Glassdoor even tells you like the average salary range for a position at a company and in general, like a overall market guideline, even down to the location. How many people before they decided to take a Udemy course, jump in a boot camp, all of that, actually did that research on Glassdoor about the field that they were going into? I'm very curious to know, right? How many people did that research? On LinkedIn? When you go on LinkedIn, it tells you how many people applied to a job. When you actually fill out your LinkedIn profile with your skills and everything, it'll compare your skills to the requirements that the job has posted, and it'll tell you, "Oh, you meet like 6 out of 10 of these requirements. You're a good fit for this position. You should apply for that." Um, how many people do that research on what they're getting into? Or does it sound good because a website promised us that we're gonna get they'll land us a job, or that a friend told us, or a YouTuber told us how they went from 0 to 100K in 6 months after taking a boot camp. Is it impossible? I mean, nothing is impossible, but I don't live off possibilities. I live off probabilities, and the likelihood of something like that happening, it's to me at least, it's not very high. I think we're so accustomed to easy that we anything hard, it's like it's like a the opposite, like magnetic force that pushes us away from hard things, because getting a job is hard work. When I was applying for positions earlier this year, I like it was a full day's work, uh, preparing for interviews, for upskilling some more, using my time to learn more, to become more marketable, to practice speaking to interviewers, to see what I can do to network and to engage and everything like that, right? And I'm a 15-year veteran, so if I had to put in that amount of work, what about you who is entering the field without any experience? And to me, if you're already in tech, then that's one thing. It makes it a little bit easier, but even that, right? So think about this. We heard about all the tech layoffs that were happening over the since last year, probably, right? And and now you're trying to get into the field, so now you're going up against all these laid off tech employees, and they're hungry. They want to get back to work. So how does that go? So what do we do? Right? I think it's I think it falls on you who were expecting easy. Because if we go back to that full stack developer, right? So now they see that the the positions that they are being offered, right? Because they told you, oh, you can get this remote position working from home, and you're going to be making X amount of dollars, and you're like, oh yeah, I'd love to work from home and everything like that. So now you, like, in your filters, you go look for remote positions, and you're applying, but you're not getting responded to because there's 1,500 other people applying for the same job, and you're expecting that company to find your needle in a haystack. But at the same time, like we spoke about in the resumes video, your resumes say the exact same thing as the other 1,500 applicants. So whether they take you, they take number 500, they take number 1,500, they're getting the same exact thing. 75% of you guys probably got the education from the same place. So what difference does it make? How does your portfolio look? But you're expecting easy, and that's why you're losing because nothing is easy. Nothing worth doing is easy. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but nothing worth doing is easy because why would they pay you all this money for easy? Because if it was so easy, then anybody could do it. You give that job to a 16-year-old as a part-time job, they work after school if it was easy. So where do we go from here? So now that full stack developer ends up finding a job working on site. If they're lucky, they'll work hybrid. But let's say it's on site, right? 5 days a week. They have to drive through traffic to do to do a job that, let's say they paid $10,000 to get the education to do the job, but they're being offered they're being offered, let's say, 40 to 50 thousand dollars. So now you're like, this job that I'm being offered, I'm making I'm being offered the same amount of money that I was making at the I'm being offered the same amount of money that I was making at my previous um, career type, right? Whatever that might be. So now you're feeling some type of way because you thought you were expecting one thing, but you got something totally different. But did you really get something totally different? Oh, so you're telling me you were chasing the money that was advertised to you without seeing that you're gonna have to go through the process. You were under the expectation that you were gonna go to school for a few months, for like 3 to 6 months, or maybe take a class that you paid $30 to $100 for, and then you're going to come into the industry, and you would be making the same amount of money of people who are seasoned veterans or went to school, and by school I mean they got like a college education for their craft, and they've been doing it for a while. Now, was that the expectation? And if that's the expectation, then, you know, we set the wrong expectations. Yeah, but coach, this is what they told me, because like they promised me this. Well, how'd that promise work out? Like I said earlier, how can somebody promise you something that they don't control, that they don't have? It's like me promising you that if you give me $10, you're going to win the lotto. Why don't you all send me $10 then? It's the same thing to me, right? At the end of the day, like the education that you're getting, it's great. That's only part of it. What is the work that you're doing for yourself to get to that next level? You might not even know what you need to do, but how are you networking? Are you trying to connect with experts who can tell you, well, this is what I did, and then you try to mold. Like, here's a question, right? If you are, if you want information on something, right? Who's the best person to ask for that information from? Is it from a person who will directly benefit from that information? Like, what do I mean by that? Right. So it's like you go to the car dealership, right? And you ask about a car. And now the salesman, are they going to tell you anything negative about that car that you're looking to buy? I think the only negative thing they'll tell you about the car is if they have a better car to sell you that costs a lot more money. But and they're not even like they'll probably tell you, well, this car is faster, but they're not gonna tell you like, oh, this car has this problem, and if it was me, I wouldn't buy this car. No, because they need the sale. But how about if you find somebody who owns the car already? To me, they've always been more honest on the good things, the bad things, what it takes, all that type of stuff, right? But maybe sometimes we don't want to know. Maybe we want to believe what sounds good, what makes us feel good to justify our decisions. I don't know. I don't know. Why do we do the things that we do? I mean, even I guess I'm guilty of it too to a certain extent, but not for not for these like huge life decisions. Might be looking at something on Amazon and I'm like finding ways to justify me buying some $50 item that I probably don't really need. But even with that, I do tons and tons of research. For like a $50 item on Amazon, I'll go on YouTube and search different reviews on how people liked it, what worked, what didn't work, if it was worth it. And then if I end up buying it, I'm like testing it all out in 30 days to make sure that it works the way that I want it. So if it doesn't, I can send it back. But it's like, do we do that same amount of research with our lives? I don't know. I don't know. How do we navigate this job market? Because now with let's say 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't saturated the way that it is now. Um, so it was easier to land these entry levels positions, and there wasn't really that much remote work back then as well. But now with the invention of remote work, we've opened up almost the globe to being able to compete for the same jobs. And when we're coming into it, we're like, well, I came into this to do remote work. But I'll tell you this, many of the entry level positions, it's going to be so hard to get remote work because it's entry level. So they're looking to train you, guide you, build you up. So that's the state of the job market right now. Companies have a need. And if you think that a company is just going to hire you because you went to you took a Udemy course or a Coursera course, course might be, and now you have the bare minimum requirements to do the job, a job is not graduate school. It's work. And a company is not going to pay you a lot of money to teach you. So we need to stop. We need to be more diligent. We need to stop believing random information that makes us feel good. We need to do the work. At the end of the day, it comes down to, did I believe a lie? And if I did, how do I course correct? Are we engineered to win? Or are we engineered to have it easy? I'll always be engineered to win. And that's why I don't lose. There might be setbacks, there might be bumps, but I'm mission minded. I'm focused. I'm all about the victory. And with that mindset, that's how you can get to anywhere that you want to go to. But nothing is given to you. Like I always tell you, you have to add value. If you're looking for people to add value into you, a company to add value into you, then you're going to fall short. They're paying you for a service. You're your own business. Like I said the other day, would you hire you if you put yourself in the third part, like a third party, and you listen to yourself talk, you listen to yourself think? Would you want to work with you? Anyhow, it's a lot to think about. It might take a mindset shift. It might take some self reflection. At the end of the day, this is the world that we live in. We need to stop just believing whatever makes us feel good. We need to do our research. We need to be diligent. We need to. We just need to be realistic. To be honest with you, a lot of people they're not realistic. They're expecting something to happen, but they don't put themselves in the position for that to happen. How does the saying go? Success is when opportunity meets preparation. Are you fully prepared for the opportunity that lies ahead? And you see me, I'm very selective about the people that I work with. So if I see something in you, then I'll work with you and we'll I can see the gaps and I'll help you fill those gaps. But I have to I have to see that fire in you, you know? So anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. This was another edition of Candid Conversations with Tech Coach Ralph. I hope you can reflect on what I'm saying, and even if it feels a bit choppy, that's because it's just my thoughts in the moment about what I see going on and how it really pains me to see it because I don't I don't like I don't like being lied to. I don't like people who lie. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of accountability on us as well for believing lies and not adequately doing the necessarily research that we need to do. So that's where we're at. Um, think about it. Get in contact with me, leave me a comment, send me an email, whatever the case may be, and we will go from there. But until next time, this has been another episode of Candid Conversations with yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph. Until next time, my friends, Tech Coach Ralph signing off.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.